Let's talk about research. The learning outcomes include define research and explain why managers and IT professionals need to understand research. If we look at a couple of definitions of research, one we can look up at Merriam-Webster's online m-w.com, and paraphrasing some of it, or shortening it, not paraphrasing, these are direct quotes. Careful or diligent search, an investigation aimed at discovery and interpretation of facts, collecting information about a particular subject. If you think about it, this is what you're going to do. You're going to carefully, diligently go out and search the literature, the scholarly literature and the non-scholarly literature for your topic. You're going to investigate and dig deeper to learn about your topic. You're not going to gather data with your topic, with your research paper, but you're going to learn more, dig, investigate. And you're going to collect all that information together, bring it together, integrate and synthesize, and bring everything together about your topic for your research paper. The Business Dictionary at businessdictionary.com defines research as a systematic investigative process employed to increase or revise current knowledge by discovering new facts. So you see some overlap with what the plain Merriam-Webster dictionary defines. What you see in common is a systematic investigative process. You're going to increase current knowledge, your current knowledge about the topic, by digging and learning all there is about it. You're not going to discover new facts in this research paper, but you could go in that direction. With research, particularly with business research or applied research, which is the focus of this class, you're trying to solve a problem. Your organization is having problems losing customers in the middle of an online order. You've got to find a solution. So we're looking at applied or business research. Or maybe your company is trying to decide, do we go to the cloud? And they ask you. You have to help them understand if they should do that to resolve their problems. So with research, you must complete a thorough study and analysis of what's happening in your situation. For this class, your research paper is a thorough analysis of the topic that you've defined. You must correctly and clearly and succinctly identify the problem you're studying. So perhaps you want to learn more about cloud computing and the security issues involved with that, or the cost savings issues involved in that, or the providers of cloud computing, or how you can set up your own private cloud, or should you use private or public clouds. Many different issues you could look at for the research paper in this class that might be relevant to your own organization. You must understand the issues surrounding the problem you're investigating, and to do that, you need to do research. You need to go out and look and learn about the topic. So you've got to gather that data, and for this research paper, you have to integrate and synthesize across multiple sources to provide your analysis of the topic. In the end, the intent is that research will help managers and users make better decisions. At least they've been provided with the information you've gathered and have the ability to use that as they make decisions. You hope that they're better decisions. couple of other YouTube videos that you can take a look at. And I encourage you at this time to pause the video and take a look at these other YouTube videos that define research and how you recognize a research article and a little more on just what is research. So why should you know about research? Why do you care? Well, first of all, you need to for this class and to get through this program. It also allows you, though, to talk with people who might be doing research, to talk with consultants who are working for you, so you can be knowledgeable, you can understand their process, you can question and analyze what they give to you. You can critically evaluate reports that those consultants give you, or industry publications, or white papers, or research papers. You can complete research yourself, including applied research at your organization and research for your graduate classes. Finally, you can understand what constitutes research and what does not. Just because it's an industry paper does not mean it's not research. It simply means it's a different kind of research. An opinion piece or a blog, however, with no citations, no references, perhaps little credibility of the source, is not research. It still may be valuable to learn about the topic, but it's not a research written paper. So why should a manager or an IT professional or a CIO understand research? Hopefully, it helps them make better decisions by understanding the issues surrounding an IT decision. It allows them to critically evaluate and not rely on people giving them reports, but to understand, critically evaluate, question, and do a thorough analysis of what any reports you've been given. It may help them solve business problems. Applied research, it has the aim of systematically investigating and solving a problem, a business, an organizational problem. It helps that manager or IT professional combine experience, the experience learned on the job and through education, with understanding of research to make better decisions. It helps them compete more effectively in the global economy because they can read more, they can understand more about what's going on, they can research and understand the issues surrounding a decision that needs to be made. If you like, you can take a look at this YouTube video on understanding market research for small business for a little more information. So to summarize, we'll look at two parts. We'll look at what research is and why managers and IT professionals should understand research. That corresponds to the learning outcomes at the beginning. Research is organized, it's systematic, it's based on data, not hunches or intuition. It's critical and evaluative, does not assume any research is good or bad, but makes an informed decision. It's objective, presents both sides, it does not slant towards one side or the other. That's sometimes hard to do. And it's scientific. Just because you complete applied or business research does not make it unscientific. You follow the process, it's scientific whether it's an academic paper or not. Research is the study of a problem to find an answer. You may have a business problem you need a solution for. You may be curious about cloud computing and want to learn more. Research encompasses from the very beginning, where you're developing your idea, you're brainstorming, to actually learning about the topic that you're interested in, to perhaps gathering data at a later date, making some conclusions, and then implementing those conclusions in professional practice. Even academic work typically has a goal down the road to be used in the business world. Managers and IT professionals should understand research so that they can compete in the global economy. They need to read, critically evaluate what their competitors are doing, what's being done in the universities, what's being done at Microsoft. They need to be aware of all that and be able to critically evaluate what they read. They can evaluate the studies for validity. Is it valid, at least as far as I'm concerned, for my products? Can I apply it to my situation? Again, critically evaluate. It may help solve problems. You may be able to find something that happened in another company and how they solved it, and it may be applicable to your situation. Finally, the ultimate goal of any research is for people to be able to make better decisions. So we hope we complete research, we solve a problem, is put into practice, and people make better decisions in the end.